Do you recognize that sound? Yes, it's a school bell and school's out. If we were in college, we might take a gap year before we start to work. But what if we're 40 or 50 years old? Well, we're still taking a gap year. We are leaving, yes, we are leaving our jobs, and we're going away to find ourselves for a year, travel all over the world. What if we're 60 or 70 years old? Well, there's those ships that cruise us for the rest of our life. But what's it really like to travel for such long periods of time? Today, I'll be speaking to a true travel nomad, and she'll tell us how it's done. And for those of us who are finding it difficult to travel, remember that the Ageless Traveler and myself, Adrienne Berg, are here to make sure that you never stop traveling. Please go to agelesstraveler.com, join our salon, meet like-minded travelers, go to our YouTube channel, and please register for that, subscribe. And finally, if you're a caregiver who's been postponing travel, go to agelesstraveler.com, our contact page, and let us know. We will send you free of charge our upcoming ebook, The Caregiver Compass, and it's going to help you and inspire you to travel with your loved one and also by yourself. Hello, everybody. This is Adrienne Berg, and I am delighted with this particular episode of The Ageless Traveler because I have somebody with me that's very special. Now, she's in Italy right now. Her name is Delia Colantuano, and she is a nomad. This is somebody who has chosen the life to travel all of her life, to not have a one fixed home, although she does have a place that she in her heart calls home. She's in Italy right now. And her company is called the Nomadream. We're going to learn how she goes all over the world. She's been to over 60 countries. She's going to get to 70 countries. She says she aspires to do at least and exceed my limit, which is, so far it's been 110, but I'm adding another 6 this year. So a lot of you are very interested. How is it possible, even if you don't want to do it, to live the nomadic travel life? And it's particularly relevant for those of you who are retired and now have time to do this. So Delia, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Adrienne. It's an honor for me and an absolute pleasure to be your guest.
Well, first of all, I'd like to do a definition here. You use the word nomad. What does it mean to you to be a nomad? People want to know, how do you actually live? Do you go from hotel to hotel? Do you have an RV? Do you sleep in your car? Do you sleep with friends?
Being a nomad means pretty much feeling home in the world. Not having a home base, feeling home within yourself and wherever you are, or you might lay your head, which is all the things you mentioned and many more. I don't own a place anywhere, and I don't stay in hotels usually because I like the authentic experiences while I travel. So, for instance, an Airbnb in a shared flat is a way for me to meet local people and get their advice and their vibe from a specific place. And you said RV, yes, tent, could be friends, couch surfing, anything free or paid or improvise. I've really been anywhere from wild camping, villas that someone invited me to, and yachts, like everything you can imagine. Right. Has been my home for a night or a month.
Well, that's a wonderful answer because what it means is that you're very creative. Now, folks who are retired, and we're talking about the ageless traveler, they need a decent bed, and they do, and they need to know where medical care is, and probably you do too. So what happens when you do have a need like medical care? I mean, you're young, you're vibrant, but even you have to get your teeth cleaned. So what happens when you have a need like that? What do you actually do?
This is a good question because as I'm also aging, I realize that routine and health, physical and mental health, are becoming more and more important in my travel decisions. And in my age group, we're transitioning into what is called the slow medicine. Like, we need to become a bit slower so that in each place we stay enough time to build healthy routines, obviously, to prevent health issues as much as possible. Because I did have travel burnouts, traveling too fast, across all different time zones and not giving my nervous system the time to actually land somewhere. So yeah, health is important. And for people who are starting in their mature years, it's even more important to get decent sleep and decent beds and health facilities. So I absolutely get that. I'm not recommending anyone to do it the fast way I was doing it. And now I do have a travel medical insurance that covers me the whole year. So when I have emergencies, I can get treated wherever I am. But I told you I'm in Italy right now because I'm taking care of my health and I'm doing 2 surgeries. And this is the country where I still have my official residency, let's say. So it's easier to get health care here for what I need right now. But it depends because the basic is available everywhere. But we tend to be scared of how can it be in another country, and maybe it's even better than at home. I mean, in the US, with all these crazy expenses that we know from Europe, when you're here, it's much easier to get treated, and you don't need any money for most of the urgent things. Or I was in Thailand or Indonesia, and I got to the hospital for something, and it was more modern and clean than the hospital here in my hometown. So we tend to have all these fears, but once we hit the road, we realize that most of the fears are just a projection of the unknown. But once we know that, we
absolutely
relax and feel.
Yeah. I have to tell everybody a couple of things. I do go to Thailand and I do use their diagnostics, and I do find it, and I have found it actually superior. But that's a money thing. You have to be able to do that. Whereas here, over the age of 65, you get most of your help for free, but not all. One of the things, and this is really in keeping with what Delia has just told us, is your teeth. Teeth are not covered. And I just came back yesterday from Mexico. And I have to tell you, I probably saved $8,000 to $10,000. I don't know that I would go to Mexico to get my teeth cleaned, nothing else like that. But when you need 2 surgeries like I did, you're definitely into a saving of at least 10 grand. No doubt about it. And yes, I'm not afraid, and she's not afraid, and we want to make you also not afraid. So now let's go back, Delia, to your new business. You are very creative and starting the Nomadream. So tell us about the future of what that Nomadream is going to do for all of us that would like to nomad, maybe not all our life, but for a year or 2.
It's the beginning of a new phase of my life. I can use with something that I've been learning and living and embodying for the last 10 years, which is traveling, solo traveling, nomadism, and minimalism, and all these cultural experiences. So I decided to start using all this knowledge and this creativity that I've stored inside to create the Nomadream. And I call it the Nomadream because most people look at me and tell me, oh, you have a dream life. Oh, this is a dream life. Not everyone is willing to give up to all their comforts and home and familiar spaces to live this dream life. Yes. But what I want to do is to help them live the nomad dream, at least for some time, to travel at their best when they do it. And this is why in this project, there's so much happening. Creating a podcast, digital products, online courses. I already do coaching and consulting thanks to technologies that we have to help people not only travel more, but travel better and travel more sustainably. So these are the 3 steps of mindful nomadism or mindful traveling, or can also be mindful aging. So the 3 pillars that my business is based on is self-awareness, cultural intelligence, and eco-friendliness. So these are 3 aspects that I want to cover while teaching people how to become better travelers.
What are you doing between March 29th and April 12th, 2025? Are you going on safari? Well, we are. Please come with us on our very first ageless traveler trip. I will make sure that you see everything that's on your bucket list. We're going with the very famous Colette Tours, one of the oldest tour operators in the United States. They know us, they respect us, and they provide for us everything that we need. Yes, we are going to Kenya. We will see the city of Nairobi. We're going to the Serengeti. We will see the Big 5. We will also have adventures of a lifetime. If you have been studying safari, or even if you have gone on many safaris, This is something really different. So how do you find out about it and get your special discounts because you're an ageless traveler? Very simple. Go to agelesstraveler.com. That's our website, agelesstraveler.com. Take a look at featured trips. Get the details by clicking right there. You can do everything from inquire, get your question answered, to book right away so that you're going with us. It is a terrific, terrific tour. And by the way, you can also go to the Masai Mara on an optional pre-trip tour. There's a lot more to it than that because there's yet more opportunity if you have longed to trek with the gorillas in Uganda. Yep, we can make that happen too. So please take a look at agelesstraveler.com, featured travel, and go on safari with us. So, one of the things that is a big trend, they call the golden gap year. Not the gap year, because gap years are for kids who are graduating from high school and they may take a year off before college, or they graduated from college, they may take a year off before they work. So that's the normal gap year. But the golden gap year comes before you retire. Most of the people who do that are in their 40s and 50s because they can take some time in their early 40s or early 50s and then go back to work. So they're going away as a nomad many times for a whole year. So if somebody came to you in their 40s now and said, you know what, I want to be a nomad for a year, what would you ask them to help them arrange that year for themselves?
Thank you for this question. This is something I'm actually working on. People who reach out to me, the first question that I ask them is, what is your passion? Because we can build your perfect year based on what you're really pursuing. What is that you really feel happy doing? Because that's the ultimate goal of your time off, to live to the fullest. So if someone tells me I'm a hiker, I love being in the mountains, I love being in nature, I'm going to think about these type of destinations and countries, and then we see all other elements that are important. How far you want to travel, you prefer driving instead of flying, like everything will become an itinerary, and then we're going to go deeper into the planning, and then there's going to be practical questions. But the first thing is, not every kind of trip is the best for everyone. So I am a diver, and like free diver, scuba diver, and all of that. Most of my trips evolve around the ocean. Someone else likes completely different things, and so I'm not suggesting my own same itineraries to everyone. It's beautiful to customize, to personalize, because the world offers so much variety.
And it is wonderful to have somebody to talk to, like yourself, who's been almost everywhere, or at least half of everywhere, and really knows where to send you. I'm going to give you guys, I'll take a look at you and say it's a little different when you're older, not only because of the health issues, that sort of things, but there's something better when you're older. And that is, you definitely want to leave a legacy. So while you're younger, you may have postponed all your travel. When you're older, you may have been to a whole lot of places and you're wondering, where should I go? So I always tell my listeners, I'm not a coach the way Delia is, to ask themselves 3 questions. What do I love to do? That's number 1. Number 2, who would it help? And then the third one is, you go to Delia and say, where should I go? The minute you know those first two answers, what do I love to do and who would it help? It's very easy to put together a nomadic life that really pays off. So now let's go, Delia. This is going to be a silly question to you, but it's not a silly question to me and most of the people my age. In my closet is stuff from all over the world. That's just what you don't do. You don't shop. You don't carry all this stuff with you. How do you do that? How do you go look and see something? Oh my goodness, I got to have that. I'll never be in Tunisia again. I got to buy that and just walk away. How do you have that self-discipline?
This question makes me suffer a little bit, but then again, I turned weakness into a strength. I saw in minimalism the key to freedom. So by traveling with hand luggage only and not buying things. I have to steal them with my eyes. So instead of going shopping somewhere, I shop for experiences, for flavors, and most of all, for human connections, human interaction. So I might not have a huge carpet or hammock that I bought somewhere because I don't even know where to bring it to. But I have friends all over the world, and that's much more valuable to me. I like the smallest things that I can buy as a souvenir. I do it, of course, but I just travel with a super small, like two small hand luggage pieces, and that gives me the freedom to not having to queue at the airport or airlines losing my stuff or having to pay for extra luggage or not being able to carry it. And I travel for 4 or 5 months, consecutive months, just with that small luggage, and that gives me extreme flexibility. And instead of buying items, because nowadays you can still find ways to ship things or order things, I just don't go for the material, I go for the experiences. And also the money that I spend on traveling, it's all for the authentic experiences. So what I see with my eyes diving around the world is some emotion that no object that I could buy could ever bring.
That's beautiful. I'm going to try to cultivate that. Fat chance, but I'm going to try. And I have a personal question for you. I'm going away for 3 months, and I also want to have very little luggage. But my problem is that I'm going to several climates. In the same trip, I'll be in Cannes on the Mediterranean, and I'll be in Greenland. That's my problem with the packing. I could pack very little, but it's the double climates. Any hints and tips on that?
Yeah. I also do several countries and climates with the same hand luggage stuff, and it's not only my. I went with a Nomad cruise from Spain to Brazil in December with 400 digital nomads. Most of them only traveling with hand luggage, and warm tropical weather. Went to Antarctica on a cruise ship. Like, it was another Nomad cruise, super cold, and they still had the same luggage they had in Brazil. And then after that, they went to Argentina. It was also super warm, but then they could go to the Andes Mountains where it's cold again. And still, if you want, you can, and there's people, not just me, who can give you really useful tips on how to pack in a minimalistic way. Still, you can be fashionable and practical.
I am going to make sure that you guys know what I pack, because it really is a fabulous trip, and I'll be going to, I don't know, at least 10 countries, 6 of which will be new to me. And they're all different climates. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, though. If you take long trips or travel through different climate zones the way I do, you don't want to schlep a lot of luggage. Well, Luggage Free ships to many of the hotels in the world and mostly all the cruise ships. I've been recommending Luggage Free for years to my friends and family, and I always hear the best rave reviews. So you visit agelesstraveler.com products and services to access Luggage Free, get all the information, and stop schlepping. But let me finish with this one with you, and that is relationships. In a couple of days, I will be putting up on my podcast, folks, one of my idols, which is Ashton Applewhite, and she's an advocate with regard to aging and anti-ageism. And she said to me when I recorded that podcast, it used to be health and money that she thought was the most important things to age well. But she changed her mind. It is now relationships. Now, this is what you're talking about, Delia. You're talking about collecting relationships. So you say you meet people all over the world. How do you stay in touch? Do you use simply WhatsApp or Instagram? Is it all technology? Do you ever actually see them again? How do you keep those real relationships going?
First of all, thank you for talking about this. Even the Blue Zones, the show about the longest living people in the world.
Blue Zones.
Yeah, they say how important it is to have meaningful connections as you age. That is the number one factor helping your happiness and your health. So I absolutely realized that very early in life, how important it is to have deep and meaningful friendships all over the world. And it's not a contradiction being a nomad, because I was criticized sometimes that my friendships might not be as deep and real as people who live somewhere and meet their group of friends all the time. It's not true. And the reason is that if you share intense experiences while traveling, every moment counts as quality time that you and the other person is never going to forget, and has an impact on their growth, much more than if I would spend every evening in the same pub with the same friends here talking about gossiping or sport. Like, the moments that I spend with the people around the world are deeply shaping the person that I'm becoming and the person they're becoming. So it doesn't need me to text them every day, but the technology that we have now, first of all, we can connect for free, talk right here, Zoom, video call, whatever.
We're doing it right now.
Follow
We're doing
life.
it now.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah, on my Instagram, if I share my story, so far I've had my private Instagram, Delia_CO, where I share my travels, and people can see where I am. And then what happens most of the times is that if I arrive somewhere and they're there at the same time, they text me like, I'm also here. How random. And then I meet up with friends from Switzerland in the middle of Buenos Aires because they're doing a 2-year trip around South America. Like, there's so many things nowadays that are possible thanks to technology. So never like now is the time to cultivate friendships all over the world.
Yes, it's beautifully said. So please do go to thehstraveler.com. And I know we're going to want to be following you and following the Nomad Dream. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much. Been a pleasure. I know we could be talking forever.
We will. And in terms of the podcasts, please do become a member of our salon, and we'll all talk together. So I thank you guys so much. You know what I'm going to say? Get out there, kids, and make it happen.